Hey guys, it's Teddy, and welcome to the LAFvlog. As you know, this is where I post some of my videos. This is where I post my annual top 5 scores of the year video. 2012 was a much better year for film and film music than 2011, if you ask me. If you remember last year, I said I was really struggling just to find 5 scores to add to my list. With 2012, I'm really struggling just to pick the top 5. There's a lot of beautiful scores that I love that just can't fit in just because the top 5 list is just so awesome. So I'm pretty excited about what you think. It's a pretty good list, and let's just get right into it. So top 5 scores of 2012. Let's just jump right into it. I'm going to try to talk as little as possible. If you don't know, these videos are me talking about the score and then a clip from the score. The two of those things, I'm the most boring part. So jumping in, number 5, it's going to be Cloud Atlas by Tom Tykwer, Johnny Klimek, and Reinhold Heil. It's a score to a Wachowski's movie. It's kind of this big, beautiful movie with these multiple narratives going on, and at the heart of the movie is kind of this Cloud Atlas sextet, which is kind of interwoven into the movie. I like to think of the 6 different stories within the movie as being each their own individual instrument in the sextet, and they kind of mingle and merge together to kind of be this beautiful statement about life and all these different things. At the core of the score is this kind of this piano piece that evolves and becomes this big, beautiful thing, and it's woven into the narrative and the characters, and it's really simple and beautiful, and something that in the movie theater really kind of set the tone of the film in a wonderful way. So that's going to be the clip from Cloud Atlas. Coming in at the number 4 spot, I'm going to put Skyfall by Thomas Newman. Thomas Newman is one of my favorite composers. He's done a lot of great movies, from American Beauty, Road to Perdition. He's coming in and reuniting with Sam Mendes, who's a director he's worked with a lot, to do a Bond film. In Bond, the last several movies were done by David Arnold, and he did a great job. But Newman kind of brings his own flair and his own energy to the franchise. So there's a lot of great action writing and unique textures and kind of that patent Thomas Newman romantic string stuff going on. As well as kind of a nice hint of regalness, which I think fits the story of Bond and the country it takes place in and all those sort of things. Some of the things I really liked about the score was M has this kind of beautiful and somber theme, and the action music has a lot of its own melody and motifs, which is slightly rare these days. And Adele had a beautiful theme song, which is kind of woven into the score at this really cool Bondish moment. And Thomas Newman puts his own flair on that, and this is the clip of the score I wanted to show you, I guess. 3. Right in the middle of the list is going to be Lincoln by John Williams. A lot like the film, the score is really kind of restrained and elegant. It's very simple. There's not a whole lot of score in the movie, and it's not really big and lush like Warhorse. The string and the piano writing are really kind of the highlights of the score, and they come into the movie really simply and beautifully. There's some nice homages to like Aaron Copland and traditional American music, as well as, you know, you can see American influences with these kind of little bits of European style writing and some very subtle Native American tonal flourishes and things like that. And really it's just John Williams writing great music like he usually does, no surprise. So here's a clip. Alright, so we're getting really close to the finish line here with the number 2 spot, The Dark Knight Rises by Hans Zimmer. If you know anything about me, you know I'm a big fan of Christopher Nolan and the Dark Knight movies, as well as a big fan of Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, who worked with Hans Zimmer on the previous 2 movies, but now this time it's just Hans. And that really kind of gives him a chance to kind of be himself and kind of be bold and brazen. And though a lot of key moments in the movie and the score rely on previous themes, especially a lot of the emotional moments, there's some really great new stuff included in the score. Most notable is obviously Bane's chant, Bane's theme, which is kind of this big bombastic chant with this weird language and tons of voices and drums and all this stuff. As well as music surrounding the Selena Kyle character. And although some of that's kind of sexy and sinister in a flirtatious way, very, you know, cat-like and very appropriate for Catwoman, some of the action stuff surrounding her music is just kind of distracting and just not my thing. But hearing this score alone and hearing the score and the way it's used in the movie, especially in IMAX, there's really nothing like it, and it's really one of my favorite scores of the year. So take a listen. Alright, so let's do a recap before we get to the end here. Coming in at number 5 was Cloud Atlas, number 4 was Skyfall, number 3 was Lincoln, number 2 was The Dark Knight Rises, and number 1, which is a real big surprise for me as well, is Life of Pi by Michael Dana. By far the biggest surprise. I wasn't really expecting much in terms of score. I was anticipating the movie, but I'm just not extremely familiar with Michael Dana, and what exposure I have had to him, I wasn't extremely impressed in the past. But this score and this movie really kind of blew me away. It's so well placed in the movie and really effective and really well mixed. It's got this really nice blend of different tones, and by far out of all the scores this year has the widest variations in terms of color and tones. There's a lot of traditional orchestral music, as well as a lot of unique world music, idioms and things of that nature. Like the character Pi, the main character in the movie, the score kind of flirts with Hinduism and Christianity and Islam, and they each kind of play their own roles in various moments and capacities throughout the story. And I found that to be really effective, especially at key turning points and climaxes in the movie. The amount of times in the theater where I was just in awe of what I was seeing and hearing, it's too many to count. So I really hope you, if you haven't seen the movie or seen the score, go check it out, and here's a little clip from one of my favorite moments. Alright, so that wraps up 2012. I think it's a really cool list. I hope you enjoyed watching and agreed with most or a lot of my selections. If you didn't, I'm obviously, my opinion's right and yours is wrong. But it was very exciting. There's a lot of great stuff out there to go find and listen to and purchase. 2013 is going to be a very exciting year. We're already a little bit into it. This video is coming a little later than I usually make it. But there's a lot of interesting things and a lot of opportunity for original music this year, where there's a lot of sequels and new trilogies based off trilogies we've already had and stuff like that from this year. Things like The Hobbit, which I didn't include in my list this year. But there's a lot of original sci-fi and M83 and James Newton Howard and Hans Zimmer doing some very interesting projects. So I look forward to it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next year.